Thank you very much. Good afternoon. This presentation is going to be very unique because I don't have slides. But I'm very, very moved. And first and foremost, I want to address the families who lost their loved ones. And you are a source of inspiration, your whole family. And when you asked me to come here, I changed everything to be here, and I will always do it. I want to thank also Tal. Tal was one of the first entrepreneurs I invested in. He was as young as he is today. And probably the fastest investment I ever made. I think it was like 30 minutes, not more. And I want to take the opportunity also to wish fast recovery to the founding Silverstein, whom I met after September 11. And he actually showed me and the people that came to see the plan that he had. And it's unbelievable to see how everything he said came about. I'm going to talk about why to invest in Israel. But it reminds me, one of our prime ministers, Golda Meir, was once asked, why is it that you, Jewish people, always answer questions with a question? So she said, what's wrong about it? So why not invest in Israel? But I think what I try to do today is bring you a vantage point which I think is a little bit unique, because I've been doing venture for 32 years, 33 years. But I grew up in a family that my father was one of the founding fathers of the State of Israel, and I had an opportunity to really have a view that has been reflected in some of the things that Izar and his family have been presenting here. And our governor of the bank, the Central Bank of Israel, and what Brian Friedman mentioned. You don't have to answer this question because it is so clear to see the path from 75 years ago into the future. Israel is on the rise. Churchill was also mentioned here, and Churchill, during the Second World War, was traveling to the United States. He was trying to force them to come into the war. And in one of his speeches in one of the Ivy universities before the Intifada of the universities, said that the empires of tomorrow will be the empires of the mind. And that vision is very much coming to fruition these very days. We see today companies around the world, especially in the United States, who already crossed valuations of $1 trillion, $2 trillion, $3 trillion. And technology and innovation knows no boundaries and no limits and no glass ceilings. And this is exactly what the Israeli innovation ecosystem is doing. And this is why I'm so optimistic on the future of the State of Israel. And this is exactly why everyone should invest in the Israeli innovation ecosystem. When my father arrived to the State of Israel in 1934 at the age of 11, he said that there was nothing in Israel. There was no food, there was no water, there was barely land. We did not have any shelter, nothing to protect us. We did not have any natural resources. So the journey of the Jewish people to their land ended up with the journey of the Jewish people to their mind. And everything we did in the State of Israel ever since was done with entrepreneurship, creativity, innovation, and pioneering. And that journey brought us to settle down, to innovate in agriculture, to innovate in food, in energy, in water. We needed to protect ourselves, so we started to innovate in defense. We had to build an economy. We innovated in order to create an economy. And you've seen in the presentation of Professor Yaron that the resiliency of the Israeli economy is given to, the credit is given to the resiliency of the high-tech sector. This is why Israel is so robust in its economy and so resilient. In 1973, when we were attacked by surprise for the first time, our economy was not able to sustain because we did not have any high-tech sector. And so 10 years after 1973, the Israeli economy collapsed to about 450% of inflation. That will not happen again, thanks to the fact that we have a robust innovation ecosystem. So the first reason why to invest in Israel is that Israel is the only country in the world that is a country of innovation. Everything it does, the way it thinks, its DNA, its only option is to innovate and innovate and innovate because we were blessed with nothingness. Our brain is what drives us. There is no other country like this, not by choice, but by necessity. The second thing is that we started building our innovation ecosystem quite early. Of course, many years after venture was born in Silicon Valley, which still dominates the world of innovation and technology. But we have a robust, diversified, motivated Israeli ecosystem that has great solidarity. And that solidarity today is reflected in next October. Everyone is joining forces. It's not only my success or your success, it's our success as a nation. We're working together, we care about each other. And that brings the ecosystem to a situation where it is so solidified, that is so energized. And I believe that once our CEOs, like the one was sitting here, or Bokobza from Ven and others, after fighting in the battlefields of Gaza, when they go back to business, their ambitious, their motivation, their commitment are outstanding, way beyond anything you would expect from a simple entrepreneur who is building a business elsewhere around the world. It is an ecosystem which is small. It is an ecosystem which is getting only to its fourth decade, but it is fast learning. We know how to develop, we know how to raise money, we know how to build products, we know how to go to markets, and now the focus is grow and become part of the global Fortune 500 companies. No more fast exits, no more small exits, no more unicorns. We are building giraffes out of Israel. Companies that stand out and will become global leaders. It is an ecosystem which is resilient, which is something that is so required when you start a startup company. Without resiliency, without your ability to look for the long run, there is no good chance to build what we are trying to build. The last thing that I wanted to say is that we are, whether we believe or not, we are moving to a new age. And that new age is going to happen, I believe, in our very days. America has laid out a huge vision for the Middle East, for Israel, and for Europe. It is a response to what the Chinese have been building as what they call One Belt, One Road, or what the French are calling now Route de la Soie, the Silver Road. From India, a democratic state will build a corridor through the UAE, through Saudi Arabia, through Jordan, through Israel, all the way to Europe. Israel is already connected to the Middle East, and I believe that in our times, the vision of a new Middle East, what we call the Abraham Accords today, or normalization, is going to take place. And the falcons of the Middle East are going to be the next growth areas. And we are now connecting to Europe. And we are going to be a bridge of a corridor that will be perhaps one of the greatest visions of our times. That vision cannot materialize unless we have peace, unless we have reconciliation, and unless we get rid of terrorism. That is what the new students, the young students in America needs to understand. Israel is a force of good. Israel seeks peace. Israel wants to be part of a world which is doing everything in its power to make sure that good things happen and not spend time on making sure that bad things do not happen. This is why Israel is so important. This is why we have to invest in Israel. And if you look at the back, at the history, and you see the situation today, and you look into the future, that graph of constant growth, I believe not only will be continued, but it will be slowly accelerating at a higher pace. Thank you so much, and I look forward to seeing you all during today.